Good afternoon, everyone. Making a little video here about rebuilding an old chimney on a rental property. This is a picture of it before the rebuild. And if you take a look at this picture, it looks like down in the bottom area there were some fairly nice bricks that were used. They weathered fairly well, but when you get up on top of the chimney here, it looks like some bricks that were used that were not so well suited for the climate. They're not a good high quality brick. So this was before the rebuild, and we're going to go on down through here and talk a little bit about the rest of the rebuild. So let me see if I can go on down here. Hit it on down. Here's a picture of us. The side. You can see the brick here has been chipped off due to the ice and cold weather. It's not weathered pretty well, and you can see also the mortar there needs some repair. So let me go on down to the next slide. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. This is another picture here showing some of the old mortar that's cracked and it's not holding really well. Chimney was probably built, oh shucks, 40, 50, 60 years ago, maybe longer than that, but you can see that it's not, it definitely needs to be replaced. Could be tore down and replaced, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time or money in it. I just wanted to do a quick repair on it. One thing we can talk about is this chimney was built using paving brick, not building brick. These are building brick, and there's a couple of different types of these. The mortar, you put it down in these holes here, and it helps hold the bricks to one another. Paving brick are for like sidewalks and roads and for porches, that sort of thing, and they're flat. They don't have these holes in them. So chimneys should be built with these type of brick instead of the paving brick that this top of this chimney was built with. The good brick may have been used on the bottom of the chimney, I don't know, but on the top of the chimney here you can see these are paving brick, and in this case the brick looks like they were turned sideways, and in this case down here it was not turned sideways. So whoever did the job here on this thing, they evidently had a limited supply of brick and they turned this one row sideways. You can see also the mortar is not holding really good there. So this is a picture of some paving brick. This is a front porch at my house, and you can see that they don't have any holes in them. They're solid. They're flat. And these are paving brick, and chimneys should not be built out of paving brick. Maybe the top layer only, but the rest of it should not be built out of paving brick. You can see in here, it looks like right here was that row where the brick were turned sideways, probably running out of brick, and that's why they turned it sideways, perhaps. Down on the bottom you can see that the brick down here seems to be a little bit higher quality than the brick up in this area. So anyway, this is the chimney after the rebuild was done, and also sealed right along the bottom edges there. Roofers tend to take and like to tear down these old chimneys and put them below the roof line. I highly suggest that you don't let a roofer do that, because you can vent modern day furnaces through this, or you can vent like a propane stove through one of these chimneys. I highly suggest that you have something on top of it to keep the rain out of the chimney, though, and this one does. This one also, if you go back and take a look at the very first picture here, it has a liner in it. So that's a good thing. It's got a liner in it, because this is really old chimney and it's really cracked. But once again, you can see the bottom layer of the brick there. They looked pretty good, but somebody has evidently built them to the top of it. Perhaps they figured out it wasn't high enough, and they added onto the top of it, and maybe put this liner in at the same time. But in going down to the last picture here, that's after the rebuild was done. Now, what really needs to be done here, we need to get some good exterior paint and go over this thing and paint all that to help seal the brick and protect them, and perhaps go back over it and work some more mortar in some of the places. But this is a rebuild. I mean, this will last for many, many years. I worked a lot of mortar in the various cracks, so this should last many years down the road. I also put some more mortar around the top. The mortar on the top seems to crack some too, so you need to kind of fix that. But this is the rebuild after it was finished. It does not look really super fantastic, but like I say, it's an old rent house, and what really needs to be done is it really needs to be painted. That would make it look a whole lot better if you paint this thing. And a lot of brick houses are painted. It helps protect them from the weather, and it keeps the brick, especially if it's a low quality of brick, it keeps the brick from shaling. There are several different qualities of brick. For if you got a real cold climate, you have a special type of brick, and then if you build in southern climates where it's warm, you don't need that high quality of a brick that you do like for these northern climates. But these bricks, if you take a look at some of the pictures earlier here, you can see the shaling that took place. This right here, you can see these brick here, they're quite old and got some cracks and stuff in them. But go on up and I'll show you what I'm talking about on the shaling. Right here is where the brick are not really a good high quality brick, and water gets in these little cracks in the brick, and the face of the brick breaks off, and you see this a lot up on chimneys. Here's some more of it, what I call shaling. The brick shales off, and you can see some of it here in this area right in here. The face of the brick has actually come off due to moisture getting in the little cracks, and then it freezing hard, and it just pops the little side of the brick off. But you notice on the bottom here seems to be a higher quality of brick, and there's none of that shaling takes place. Like I say, it looks like they ran out of brick, and the top part of the chimney was not done with the same quality of brick that the lower part of the chimney was done with. But anyway, I highly suggest you don't tear down these old chimneys, because you can vent furnaces through them, and propane heaters and those sorts of things. Just go ahead and rebuild them and seal around them. Roofers like to tear them down because the chimneys are notorious for having leaks around them. You got to seal them every 3 or 4 years, because just like the mortar in between the cracks, the bricks wears out. The ceiling around the roof, where the roof meets the brick, wears out and needs to be recalked or redone there every couple of years, keep them from leaking. But that's just one of the things you need to do on these properties. All properties need a certain amount of maintenance, and this is one of the type of maintenance that you need to do on these chimneys on properties. Also, like I said, I highly suggest that you take and have something on top of the chimney to keep the the rain from going down in the chimney if you get a whole bunch of rain. Also, that'll keep birds from getting down in there and nesting. What happens a lot of times is birds will fly down in these chimneys and they'll find a little crevice or something, or they'll build actually a little nest on the side of one of the brick or something. And it's a fire hazard if they put a lot of straw and stuff down in there. So you need to have some sort of cover on top of your chimney. Keep the rain out and keep the birds out. But anyway, that is the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it has been useful to you. So, like I say, I wouldn't tear down these old chimneys. I just rebuild them. This one here is the rebuild has been finished here, but like I say, it needs to be gone back and painted real good, and also maybe work a little bit more mortar in some of the cracks there where I didn't do it before. But anyway, thanks a lot, and you folks have a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel. I post all sorts of videos on home repairs, and also do some outdoor stuff on plant identification and trees and various other things. So please subscribe to my videos. I certainly would appreciate it. Thanks.